Hello horse friends, and welcome back to the imperfect question. I'm going to be doing some liberty circles with JJ. They're not going to be perfect, but we're going to have a talk about how they go. Before that, I'm going to just warm her up with some normal circles, and I'm going to have a little chat with you about what I'm doing at the moment about my confidence with riding, because obviously we saw in the last video I'm having yet another dilemma about my confidence. So let's have a chat.
I kinda adore you, but don't get too proud. You're like my favorite snack, I won't say it out loud. I won't say you're perfect, we all know you're not. But hey, you're the best kind of way that I got.
Good girl, back. So whilst we have a chat, I'm just going to set JJ on some normal circles. Good girl. Just so that she can get a bit warmed up. And also, she's not really in a place at the moment where I can just set her going on liberty circles in a more open area and expect her just to do them. She needs to get the idea of what we're doing first. So we'll do some normal circles first. I'll be keeping an eye on her going round. So I don't quite know why I keep getting confident crushes like I do. It's a little bit windy, so do apologise if you can't hear me properly. But it seems to come along mostly if I stop riding for some point, as I've mentioned previously before. And I had been doing a few weeks of groundwork, as I'm doing now. And that's probably maybe the reason why, although that's a silly reason why. Good girl. Trot on. Good girl. So what I don't like is I keep going through cycles of it. So I'll get a bit braver, we'll do a lot more work, and then I'll just get hits like this where it's crippling, to be honest, and not very nice. You just want to keep progressing. I want her to be a good horse. I need to be brave to get her to be a good horse because she's still very green. A lot of people think she's great, but she is very green, really. You know, we've not done that much, especially not on the schooling wise. So particularly if I'm riding somewhere that's not out on a hack, I'm a bit more nervous of it. I don't know how she's going to react and stuff like that, so that we can see. But I'm currently taking 2 new techniques into consideration. Let me just change her direction. And it's good for JJ to be going around whilst I'm talking as well, because she thinks I'm a bit distracted, which I am. So she might try and get away with a few things, so we have to keep an eye on that at the same time. So previously, what I mostly do for confidence, as I have mentioned sometimes before, is kind of almost like an approach and retreat, where I will say, like, I want to ride it, I'll walk her out to lots of places I want to go. I'll get on and I'll take her up to small rides, so like towards an object or something like that. And just as my confidence increases, I can get to longer distances, better areas, feel like I could get out on a hack, all those kind of things. So I'm gradually introducing it to myself all the time. And years ago, I actually ended up in a situation where I was really scared to ride, and I even had to put a saddle on a fence and sit on the saddle on the fence. And that was kind of my way of building up to, I couldn't even sit on the horse, so I needed to sit on the saddle on the fence first. So, but that's all been like an approach and retreat kind of thing. And it does work for me, but it doesn't stick very well. So we're going to have a look at some more options. And one of the things is I've been having a little chat with somebody on Facebook called Kerry Campbell. I will put links to her in the notes in the description. And she does EFT. I can't quite remember what it stands for. Emotional something technique, fitness technique, something like that. And it's you will have heard of it before probably. It's the tapping technique, where you use affirmations and tapping on acupuncture points to help take away fears, and it's been proven to work. Now, I've actually had this method done to me before many years ago for my biggest fear, which is nothing to do with horses or animals or anything like that. And I had saw a professional for that technique for several weeks and had different things over a few years, different techniques over a few years. And so I am familiar with that. And with Kerry, she offers a free booklet which tells you the places to do the EFT, and also gives you some guidance of how to do it as well. Just change direction again. Woo. Good girl. Good girl. So you can try it yourself, and because I have done it in the past, I am going to try it myself to start with. But should you have trouble with doing that technique, she can be contacted and she can give you a private one-to-one session. And she's got lots of glowing reviews on her page about people who've had only one session, which I believe is about an hour long, and they feel like they have been completely cured of some very crippling fears and phobias to do with riding mostly, but she can do other things as well. And they also do things like I forget what it is, you'll have to look, but they do help solve horse problems through hair testing as well, in case there's a common problem with the horse that can be picked up in a hair test. Take her back down to walk for a bit. Good girl. So I'm going to be trying the EFT technique. Maybe I'll describe that to you a little bit more in a bit. I haven't got my hands free at the moment. And the other thing I'm going to be doing is I've signed up to a 3-day free course. Again, this person does do a more longer term paid experience if you want it. But I'm just starting with the 3-day free course. The actual place, like the page she's got, it is called Tack Up and Ride With Me. And I believe the lady's name is Sophie Anderson, and she is also on Facebook. And she has a business helping with confidence as well. So I don't know what Sophie's approach and techniques are, but I'm looking forward to starting that course this week. And I believe that she'll be holding a live session between some people who've signed up for it each evening, and that she will also give us some tasks to do. I don't know if they will involve the horses or more techniques a bit like the tapping technique, or I don't know, but I'll be excited to see how that does. So I'm actively at the moment, hold on, just turn around, just looking into some methods. Go on, good girl. She just got confused then. Good girl. Just looking into some methods of how I can actively get a bit better with my riding and a bit braver, because I really want it to be a more permanent fix than me keep repetitively getting nervous and scared. And it's just no fun at all. Every time I feel that way, I'm like, I feel, should I give up horses altogether? Should I sell JJ? She's still quite young. Somebody else could do a lot with her and get one of those safe quote unquote cobs instead, you know, the kind of cob that's had a lot of experience. But I know in my heart that JJ can be that safe horse. I mean, you've seen how good she can be with the traffic, with the lorries and things like that. She's never really done anything wrong with me. It's all just mostly in my head, the problems. But obviously when I'm not being confident, I'm not assisting her either. Right, so I'm just going to move her on a little bit in a second, and we'll try a little bit of canter before we go into the Liberty circles. So I'm still on my 22-foot line, and because of that, I need to walk out a little bit with her still. I need to switch up to my 45-foot line, really. So we're going to start noting the shape of these circles. Good girl. Keep going. So I just brought her down to a trot then. We're going to try again in a second. And go. Good girl. So they're pretty good circles, these ones, not too bad. Let's see if she can change direction. So that brings her life up a little bit, but can she change direction with that? Good girl. Good girl. So she's been getting better at this, because when we started the cantering, it brought her life up a little bit too much, and she struggled to then think about things like changes of direction. That's nice, lovely. So I feel like when we get to the longer bits, go on. Good girl. Good girl. She's pulling a bit away from me. Good girl. Good girl. And when we have the shorter sides, that is not as bad. She's, I obviously held by the side bits of controlling herself. So I want you to note that even though those circles didn't look too bad for circle shapes, I want you to note that I'm saying that either end she pulls a little bit. Now we're going to try liberty circles now in a second. I'll just give her a second to rest. And what I've been finding is, I mean, this could all go completely wrong today. It changes by day. Some days we have really good ones, some days not so good. On our last session they were not so good. I'm hoping they've improved a bit for today, we'll see. But I usually find as she goes round to the right, which will probably start by going to the right, that she finds it a little bit easier to stay closer to me. So she'll do a nice circle and we'll probably do a walk, maybe a trot. When I find when she walks, she almost needs to go further out, and in the trot she finds a better place of coming closer to me. Now when we change direction and go the other way, she finds it a lot mentally harder to stay nearer me. And what we tend to find is that she walks down towards the gate and then loops around and comes back up. So the circle ends up being a circle on that side away from me, but then it ends up being like a huge loop towards the gateway on the other side. And sometimes she'll get braver and correct that and start to come back into a circle closer to me. It's usually a bit easier for her to do that in a trot for some reason than a walk or a canter. And sometimes she'll struggle down there a bit more and just keep doing that. Now yesterday was the day when she kept doing the big egg-shaped ovals over and over again. So I'm hoping today we can get back to at least a couple of circles to the left that way. But like I said, it might go completely wrong, but we'll deal with what happens at the time. It's still very much improved though, because when we started coming back to our liberty circles in here again originally, what I would find is she would do this big loop down to the gateway, get about halfway across the far side down there, and she couldn't continue round, so she'd have to change direction and come back again. So, and that's because she was feeling safer with me on her right eye, which is why she feels it's so easy to stay close to me going round to the right when she's at liberty. I'm hoping this happens today, else I'm going to seem silly, but she, on the right hand side, she fairly successfully does a circle around me, but it's on the left that she struggles more, and it's because she's not as confident with me in her left eye. Now the reason I still get a nice circle kind of here is because obviously that's where the exit is. Comanche's not actually there today, so maybe that'll affect it, but Comanche's usually down there somewhere eating in the barn, or in the barn while she's playing in here. So between Comanche and the gateway, there's usually a good pull down there for her mentally to feel safer down there. So that's why we get a big egg shape in that direction. Now it could be interesting today, because although we've still got the gate down there, Comanche's more kind of over in that direction over there. So we might get more of a circle shape because of that. I'm not sure. I'm just going to unhook her. Good girl. There we go. And I'll just leave that on the ground, and I'll try not to trip over it in the meantime. Good girl. She's had a nice break. Unfortunately, there are some flies around today. Good girl. Give her a treat to remind her there is good things here. Oh, get some of them flies for her. There we are. Good girl, my darling. You got any on the other side? Let's have a quick look, okay? No, you look okay. Ooh. It's got a bit of coconut oil on. It does help a little bit. Good girl. Right, so make sure I've got retention. Back. Back. Good girl. Back. And she's a little bit more posed to go left, but hopefully we'll get to go right. Good girl. So, setting off at a speedy walk. And I'm just having a look at if I'm roughly in the middle or not. So here I'm hoping she'll turn right, which she does. That's great. So because she was a bit diagonal, she had the option then to mentally go straight to the gate. But she chose to turn right, and I'm very, very happy with that decision. She's got a little bit of a sour face on her, but we'll ignore that at the moment. Good girl, JJ. Doing really well. So here's another opportunity for her to choose to go to the gate or to choose to stay around me. And she's choosing to stay around me. That's lovely. Really pleased. So I'll try and take her up to the trot in this direction. Now this is the side she finds easiest away from me, and there. So we'll ask her there. Okay. Obviously when I ask her to trot, that's a little bit more pressure. And also with me facing this way, she's going to be inclined to go a little bit more away from my front facing and nearer my back because of pressure from the front of me. Now she went a little bit further out, but she is still more or less doing a circle. If I face this way a bit more, so I'm not putting too much pressure on that direction, she should start coming a little bit closer to me. That's much better. So you can see that going to the right, she is maintaining a fairly good Liberty circle, not too bad at all. I can hear that she might be going towards blowing out, so I'll leave her a second because that would be really useful. Now when she does blow out, she tends to blow out behind me and towards my left shoulder usually, about there somewhere. It hasn't done it yet. There we are. Good girl. So on her next pass by, we'll change direction. Now there'll be a little bit of pressure from the change direction. In fact, I might even turn a bit when she gets around there to do it, so we come back on the easy bit first. Okay, so I'll turn a bit. I'm going to ask her up here and ask her nice and gently. So this is where it's going to be interesting. And we start with her going diagonally out, but actually that's really good. It's not too far away. It was quite circular, cutting in a little finer that side. But let's watch. Is she going to head down towards the gate now? See how she's going much nearer the fence this way. And yeah, she's coming past you now, going down to the gate and going around. Will she feel the need to change direction? No. So even though that's not a circle, we got the first one, which was great. Even though that's not a circle there, it's more of an oval, I'm still very, very pleased with the progress of her feeling brave enough to not, that's interesting. Look, she's not all the way to the fence this time, but she doesn't change direction. So I'm really pleased with that progress. And there you see it came away from the fence a little bit as well. So my hope would be to leave her and that she'll continue to come a bit closer and a bit closer. And if she can get a circle quite close to me, I will just stop her as a reward. So there she's cutting across in front of you, and we're again a little bit nearer me. So that's interesting, cutting very close to me behind. Just wait and see now, where will she go? Very good, very good, very good. Oh, there we are. I'm really pleased with that one. So that one, even though it was closer behind me, was about the right distance in front and to the side of me. So I want to reward her for that, give her a moment to have a think about what she did, the decisions that she made, because that's what we're rewarding at the end of the day, is some good decisions that she's made. There we are, good girl. Now quite often I'll end a session there to give maximum reward for how well she did, but I might try one more time to that same direction today, just because I feel like being daring and breaking some rules and see if she can, what her decision making is this time. Now she made a good decision at the end and we rewarded her by coming back in. Will she make the same good decision again, or will she go quite far down again? Now it really could go either way. I'm hoping that she feels it was a good decision. She came in, she had a rest, she had a treat, and that's what I wanted to think about. And that's why it's a good idea to end a session there, because it promotes maximum thinking time about what caused the session to end, what can they do to get it to end again, basically. But yeah, I'm interested to see. So we're gonna have a little look-see. Okay, I'll give her one more treat before she goes. I really want to see me as a positive thing. Okay, good girl. Nice and relaxed if we can. Back. Oh, she's going to leave me that way. Okay, that's okay. We're at liberty, so we have to take a few things. Now she's going around to her easy direction, so I might let her travel that way a bit first. And we could even find that now we've broken it in this direction. So we'll see. Let her walk around. Have a nice little walk. Still choosing good decisions in that direction. That's good. Okay. Now I want to get her up to the trot, really. Wait for it to come around a bit. And ideally, I want her in the trot when she's going to the left, because she makes decisions quicker, basically. If she's walking, it takes her a lot longer to walk down and come back up, and she has way too much time to think about decisions. And sometimes she'll just stop down there. So I'll change the direction when she comes up the other side. Turn around and get it this way. There, that'll do. And turn and go. Nice and gently if I can, and relax again. Oh, that looks like a good decision to start with, but I'm not taking it yet, because remember last time she made a good decision straight away on the turn, and it was a second decision that went around. If she makes another good decision again, I'll call her back in after that. How about that? How about that? Good girl. So you see how by rewarding, whoops, let me find a treat for her and let the noisy tractor go by. So you see how she built up her confidence getting nearer and nearer, and at the point that she did the correct thing by being, or what I desired, not necessarily the correct thing, but what I desired by being nearer me, and we stopped and rewarded her, that when we did come back to it again, it was already in place there. And that's how I'm hoping to tackle these Liberty circles. Now, she can canter around, but obviously because she's still kind of getting used to the canter, she's sometimes got a bit further away because the adrenaline's coming up. So I'd rather not do that today. But I hope you've enjoyed having a look at how her Liberty circles are progressing, and hearing obviously about what I'm doing about getting riding again. And I hope to see you all with my riding again very soon. What we'll probably do, if I haven't got my riding together quite yet, is we'll do some more walking hacks out together. We'll go somewhere. Okay, I promise. So from JJ and me, don't forget to like if you like this video. Let us know of other things you think we could do without riding. If I am feeling a bit scared still, I'll certainly be letting you know what happens on our course and how the EFT goes. Oh, I did say I would show you roughly how to do the EFT. Let me come a little closer. Come on, JJ. I would start with hitting the karate chop point, which I've seen people do different ways. I think I was originally taught just to tap it. I have seen people literally karate chop your hand as well. And quite often you can start saying an affirmation whilst you do that. We'll talk about that in a minute. And then you would go from there to the above your eyebrow, outside of your eye. And it's all 5 to 6 taps. Under your eye, under your nose, on your chin, on your collarbone, under your arm, top of your head, and then back to the karate chop. And you can cycle that through. Now, before that, you have to think about where you are with your fears and what your anxiety is actually about, and give it a rating kind of out of 10 where you feel you are. And the idea is at the end of each cycle of tapping, you think again about where that rating would be, and you're trying to get it down. Now, I've been told that you should get these phobias down to kind of a rating of 0 to 1 for it to be permanent. I remember when I did it previously, I couldn't get my phobia down below a 3, but it was a very intense phobia. So I'm hoping to have a bit more success this time with the horse riding fear. And also, whilst you're doing it, you have to say, you have to kind of acknowledge your problems. So it might be something like, whilst you're tapping, saying, although I am anxious to ride JJ, I know it's okay because I am trying to ride JJ and I'm trying to make it better. And even if it just gets better a little bit, I want to improve. Just things like that. So it's a mixture of recognizing what you're anxious about and also how you want to improve it, or how you're going to improve it. It's a positive affirmation and recognition of what your feelings are, and think about it as you do it. So I'm not teaching you how to do it. Please go to Kerry Campbell to learn how to do it. I'll put the link in the description. But yeah, that should be very good for me. So we'll see you again next time. Please like if you like this video. Please subscribe. It really does help us out. And we'll see you next time. Bye.